We're going to do a tutorial here for you today on how to use milk paint. So we have our pine wood box that we have for our DIY mason jar set. This is a fun project that we have upcoming for our Christmas in July DIY box, which we have started to ship out already. So on this wood box, we decorated, we're using this, for our s'mores bar and our hot cocoa bar station. So we have DIY'd these tags, but this box is painted with milk paint in black. This is coal black. And so you can see you can fill the jars with all of these different labels for you to have a reversible project. Not only for just a hot cocoa bar and a s'mores bar, but you can DIY this box as well for spring or summer to add any home plants. We've got some flowers here, some succulents, but first I'll show you how to use milk paint. So Homestead House is a brand from Fusion Mineral Paint. They are actually sister companies. Homestead House is the company. Jenny Lynn owns Fusion. Her mom owns Homestead House. So that's a little fun fact for you. Fusion Mineral Paint also has their own line of milk paint. We actually don't stock it, but we do use it for our DIY kits. And for those of you who are familiar with our farmhouse risers, anything made of pine is perfect for a project like this. Furniture refinishing with milk paint is also really fun, so that is possible. Now, milk paint is not made with milk. It is a powdered paint. I don't know if you can see that. So it has a really long shelf life. As soon as you add water to it, which helps to create the paint, then it has a very short shelf life. So make sure you only mix what you need. So for a project like this, we have a 2-ounce container. You can see we have this beautiful blue color. It's called Rideau Blue, and it is a powder with a lot of pigment in it. It only has, I think it's 4 products in here. So it's a very primitive paint. It is not complicated at all, and it is very chalk-like. So I'm gonna just add water to it, and it's kind of like pancake mix where you want to make sure that it's mixed really, really well. And the more water you add to it, the more it's going to create almost a stain-like finish. So I don't mind adding more water because you can always add second coats if you want it to go on a little bit darker. So you can see it can be a little bit chunky. So in the DIY kits, we give you a stir stick. It is quite watery. The longer you let it sit, the thicker it does get. So you can kind of mix it, make sure the lid, that is not on straight. Okay, make sure that's on straight. You can see that the pigments, it's kind of pulling those. If it's not mixed properly, there is some white in there, so you want to make sure that it's mixed really, really well. And you're going to find that if the milk paint sits for too long, it's going to start to separate again, so you're going to see all those mixed pigments. So when you do the black, sometimes it looks gray if it's not mixed properly. So that's very important with this. So that is stirred. It is going to go a little bit bubbly. And again, you can see that is going to make the perfect stain for this box. And you just want to, again, make sure that there's no chunks and that it's mixed thoroughly. And then it's a super easy application. We just use a foam brush, and you can just liberally apply it just like you would any other stain. So you can see this beautiful blue color, super easy to apply. And you're just gonna let it dry. So it's not gonna go on very evenly. I actually want it to be a little bit more distressed. So Lisa's behind the camera. That doorbell is when a customer comes to the door. So Lisa, do you want to get that? And I'll grab the phone and show them a different point of view. Ooh, there we go. Thanks, Lisa. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna dip the foam brush, and easy to apply. I'm just doing the inside of the box, and you're just gonna make sure that you get into all of the corners and all of the edges. Gonna move that over. Now the most important part of this is when you're applying it, you just wanna make sure that you get all your corners and your edges. I'm gonna just lift that. Sorry for this perspective, you guys. Thanks for kind of going with the flow with us. We usually lock that front door when we're in the back. So our retail store customers have to ring that bell to get our attention, because we're usually in the back as often as we can be to get projects like this done. All of our samples. So this is a beautiful blue color. Again, I'm just gonna do the inside, and this can get super messy with the application. You can see I'm just letting this milk paint just kind of penetrate into the pine wood. And if you wanted to wipe it back, you probably could, but I'm just gonna let it dry just like this. It is a super, like I said, you have to be open to imperfection. There's nothing perfect about this application. As you can see, I'm just liberally applying the color. And we're really not ever gonna know what it's gonna turn out until we're actually completed the project in its entirety. Only because I'm gonna distress this, and this paint, unlike Fusion Mineral Paint, it doesn't have a top coat built into it. So it's really, really easy to sand back. And so I'm just gonna apply this over the entire piece. And then once it dries, I'll show you how we can finish it. We've got some plants here for you to see how you can use this for a planter box. So this is the milk paint, and we buy the industrial size of everything that we possibly can. So we also have the Homestead House furniture wax, and that is like the oversized bucket because we use a lot of it here. We have lots of different sizes that you can purchase in the store. And you can see that the wood grain, you really see that come through, which is very different than Fusion Mineral Paint, because that is a more solid base, where the milk paint is more like a stain finish when you're applying it on natural wood. When you're using this to refinish furniture, you can get it to do some fun crackle finish. It can do a vintage look and weathered look. But look at that. I just love that you can see the wood grain. So that I'm going to leave. I'm not going to finish the ends there because I think you got the right idea. You can see that there's excess. I'm just going to let that saturate in. There you go. So some of the ideas that we have here are adding some Gerber daisies. You can make an herb garden, put it in your kitchen. You can add indoor potted plants. And it fits a 4-inch plant perfectly. You can also use this box to add candles. This is our berry wreath for Christmas. So you can see the versatility of this box. We also have these woodward cutouts. Those are coming soon for fall. So in the next week or so, we'll have those online, and super cute. You can just kind of add that, add that to the front, and it can prop there. You could also glue it. And this is the word gather. And then we have the word thankful as well that you could glue on there. So it is just a couple of ideas. Now this box here, I'm going to add 5 4-inch pots for succulents. So then I'm going to line this wood box and display those there. So again, this is with our s'mores bar and hot cocoa bar. So that is a finished product that you can use milk paint to apply to your pine, and you have the option of which color to use. So after this dries completely, I'm just going to apply a clear wax to seal it. That way, if any water gets on it, it won't penetrate the pine box. It won't leave any marks. So it's just as easy as that. You can use your sandpaper once it's completely dry to distress it. And so it's that easy to use milk paint. Again, you just mix water, stir it, and then apply it with a brush, and then sand it back and apply your clear coat. So I hope that was helpful tips for you on how to use milk paint. And again, they can be used on anything that's raw wood. I hope you found this useful.